There you go. Okay. Welcome, Lindsay. I'm Stacy. I'm with Gateway Association. We have met many times, and I always enjoy seeing your friendly face. So welcome to our Families Forward on what day is today? It's Wednesday, March 12th. And we have Edmonton Public Library in the house to spread the word about connecting with families and updating on all the fun and educational free offerings that the EPL have to offer. So if you want to just quickly introduce yourself, Lindsay, that would be great.
Thanks so much, Stacy. I love being a guest at Gateway, and my favorite thing to do is to tell everyone about Edmonton Public Library, my passion, and it's my absolute pleasure. My name is Lindsay Juke, and I'm a community librarian at Edmonton Public Library, and I work out of the Woodcroft branch over by Westmount. So I'm going to welcome you to all of our services and the ways that we support individuals and families at Edmonton Public Library, with a special consideration in mind about what might be of interest to those that are supported by Gateway.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just wondering, are you going to be able to talk to us kind of like as parents? What does the Edmonton Public Library have to offer? What can we access? How does it support individuals living with disabilities? Awesome. Thank you.
Definitely. So I'm going to go through our main services and programs and classes, and any questions that you might have, I can definitely answer.
Awesome.
And I will be keeping that in mind. But
Okay.
all
Awesome.
the things that I generally like to tell people about, and uh, always thinking about the ways that we can welcome all types of people to the Edmonton Public Library.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay, thanks.
All
Take it
right.
away.
Okay, I'm going to just share. All right.
So just a
Oh,
heads
no,
up.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just gonna try that again. Oh,
It's the joys of technology and multiple screens.
okay. Was I not? You're
Yeah,
seeing the wrong side, right?
I'm seeing the one where I could see your notes. So I think there's another one. There's another version with just your
Yeah.
PowerPoint, probably.
Stop and try again.
That's all right. These are the joys.
To all the folks at home, we did practice.
But you're going to get all this really amazing information about what you can access with individuals of all ages, any type of disability, how the Edmonton Public Library works really hard to support everyone. So now, there you go. Perfect.
How's
Okay,
that
I'm going to
doing?
stop talking now. Thanks.
Sometimes we like to do it twice for the fun of it.
Yeah,
Repetition
why
is
not?
the foundation for learning sometimes.
Exactly. It's how we learn.
All right. So that's my name, Lindsay Juke. And a second welcome to everyone from the Woodcroft Branch Library. I'm going to give you a little taste of what you can find out at the Edmonton Public Library. First of all, our mission. It is dead simple. We share. Back before there was the sharing economy, before there was Uber, rideshare, any of that, way back in the 19th century, public libraries were invented, and they were invented to bring knowledge and books to all the people of all walks of life. And we are still doing that today at the Edmonton Public Library and at all public libraries. And we're sharing a lot more than books, we're sharing all sorts of things. So I tell that to our kindergartners, I tell that to our seniors, I tell that to all the folks that come to the library. We've learned to share in kindergarten, and we still do it throughout our lives at the library. I'm going to show you some photos of our beautiful branches at the Edmonton Public Library. We have many locations at the library. Here's a little sampling. Do you recognize any of these locations, Stacy? This is the game show portion. Oh, can you still hear me, Stacy?
Sorry, I was on mute. That's a rookie move. I was talking on mute. That's a
Oh, sorry.
rookie move.
I didn't tell you this would be interactive.
Yeah, let me jump in. I was gonna say, I think the downtown one I definitely have seen.
Yes,
The top left, the bottom left, no, I don't know where that is.
that's our Capilano. It's a fairly new branch and it's sort of built
Oh,
into the ravine. That's where you can see the wildlife through the big windows on the side.
beautiful.
And of course, there's a historic Strathcona branch.
Hmm.
That one is the one that's left over from the olden days. Like I say, the olden days of the library when it was, first invented. And of course, the top corner, that's Woodcroft. That's where I am right now, the Woodcroft branch.
Nice. Yes.
And before I let you off the hook, Stacy,
Okay. There's
do you,
quizzes with this. All right.
do you know how many branches there are in the city?
7,
More,
12.
way more.
Really?
Yes,
How many?
there are 21 branches in Edmonton.
I didn't know there were 21. Wow.
I'm going to reveal them to everyone here.
Oh my goodness.
So we are all over the city and we provide all these branches so that all the people can hopefully make it to a branch near them. But as we know, the city is expanding. So we're trying to, have building projects, capital projects, make more libraries. And we've also got our mobile literacy EPL vans that also travel to bring programming and digital literacy as well to neighborhoods that maybe lack a library or are underserved in some way.
Wow.
So this is the map of Edmonton. See if there is a library branch that you know of in your neighborhood.
So I'm actually a little bit north of Edmonton, so I see one of the outskirts would be my area, but this is phenomenal that there's that many. And I love that it's for everybody. I don't know if everyone knows what a library can all do for you and who can access that. It's open for everyone and it has so many things to offer. So,
And that's a great point too. Some folks, and I know some folks at Gateway might live in the outer line communities
mhm,
outside of Edmonton or in different parts of the province. And I do that as well. I live outside of Edmonton.
mhm.
But I think that you will find that there's a public library in your community. So even if it's not EPL, I encourage you to visit your public library and get a library card. And then you may be able to also use EPL. We have partnerships. We have a special group called a consortium where we share with our neighboring libraries as well. So you can go to Me Libraries on the internet, melibraries.ca, and you can sign up with your own library card number, and then you can use all the neighboring libraries in Alberta.
Wow.
So that is a hot tip for you if you are not part of EPL. And vice versa as well. EPL members
Yeah.
can, use St. Albert or Calgary. So that is how you can share with our neighboring libraries.
Is there an extra fee for that or is it just
There's not an extra fee, but your local library may charge a membership fee for
okay?
their library card. And
Okay.
that is a great segue into what will be next soon as to how much does it cost at Edmonton Public Library. Which the answer is, it is free. Our memberships at EPL are free. Okay. Just like this little kid, keep on rocking in the free world. Boom, boom, we are free at EPL. Like I say, it may not be the case at all the municipalities,
Right.
but we do make it free to make sure that everyone in Edmonton can access the library.
And is this all ages, Lindsay? Like
Yes,
free library
from
card for everyone. It's not just like under 10 or something.
birth all the way
All the way.
through the
Okay,
80s.
amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Some people don't know, even babies, newborn babies can get a library card. And we encourage babies to get library cards, of course, with their caregiver, babies
Mhm.
can't come on in on their own, but bring your baby in and you'll also get a special gift
Oh,
for children under 3. You get a welcome baby special bag with a board book to take home and a little songs and rhymes pamphlet and all sorts of goodies. So we encourage that as well. Makes a lifelong reader and just gives a little boost, a little gift for you to encourage the whole family to be library users.
that's amazing. And I'm sorry, I'm raising my hand because I have so many questions and I hope it's okay that I ask
And I
as we go.
can't see you
Oh, you
on my
can't see me. Okay.
giant monitor setup, but
Oh,
I'm glad to hear you.
that's okay. So I just want to know, um, is this kind of like early intervention? And do you need to be a resident of Alberta? So those are my two questions for this special baby package, this free thing that the library shares.
To get a library card, you do need to be a resident of Edmonton.
And this, when you were talking about babies having library cards and then have access to a little gift as well, you need to be just a resident of Alberta.
Uh, Edmonton.
Edmonton, sorry. Yes, Edmonton. Okay.
That's right. Just like we talked about, Edmontonians of any age
Okay.
can use our free services at the library. As I said, free for the library memberships, free for our classes and events. Those are in person or online. We do have some that are virtual. Our space here, you can come here, hang out, study, plug in your device, use your own device, or use our computer for an hour a day, or more if we have the ability to extend. Scanning and faxing is free as well. The items that you borrow, it's free as long as they're brought back on time. And any of the information and assistance that we provide at the library is also free for you as well. Very important to us that every person can come in and use all this for free. Now, even if you don't have a library card, let's say you're not a resident, or maybe you do have some fees on your library card, something like that, you can still come in and use the library. You can come use our space. You can come to our programs. Many things don't require the library card. So
Ah,
some people are concerned about that. And I'm here to let people know as well that a lot of these things you don't need even a library card for. It's
that's really
really
good to know.
mainly just for borrowing and for using the computer.
Okay.
Even the printing, you can do that without the library card. So, and printing is a nominal fee just for the price of, the paper is 10 cents a page for black and white. So we try to make this a space for, it's really a democratic space, right? Where else can you go where you can just be, where you don't have to buy anything, don't
Yeah.
have to buy a coffee, you're not loitering, that kind of thing. The library is a place where people can come and socialize and you can come and just study and be. It's a place for everyone. And I just wanted to back up a bit to let people know that we're also open every day. And we're even open into the evening. So Monday to Thursday, we're open till 9 p.m. in the evening. And we're open till 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. And we're open till 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Perfect. And these are all the library
Yep,
locations.
that is all the branches.
Okay.
Now, I'll just caveat, just gonna say there's an exception. Downtown branch, I believe, is open till 9, also on Fridays. So
Okay.
if you need a little longer on one day, you can go downtown.
Okay.
Now, folks are gonna wanna know, how do I get a library card? Because it's obviously the best deal in town, right, Lindsay? It's free,
Right,
so how do
Lindsay.
we get a card? Well, you can start the process of getting a card online. Okay, so we do have that option. We've got a new process for getting a card online. So you can start that on the website, epl.ca, under Get a Card, or up in the top right-hand corner, under the login/register. And then you can go through the process of entering in all your information online through the website, and then you can create your account and start searching, placing holds, and using our online services straight away. You have 45 days to come in and confirm your identity with your ID. So that's how the online registration works. So you can get started with your library card, and then you have to then come in to a branch to complete the process.
And if I needed support going through any of these steps, would there be someone at the library to help me do this application?
I would say that if you needed that type of support, the easiest to do would be just to come in person,
Okay.
because then we can just do the whole thing for you.
Okay.
You come in with your ID, and if that ID has your Edmonton address on it, then
Mhm.
that's all you need to bring.
Okay.
If a person is under 18, then they need to come with a parent or guardian. So basically children's parents sign for them. They're in charge of the library card for their children until the person turns 18.
Okay.
Once they turn 18, then you're in charge of your own library card and you're responsible for anything that you borrow. So when you do sign for a library card, you are taking responsibility for any of the materials that you borrow at the library.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if your ID doesn't have an address on it, because
Mhm.
some people might have a permanent resident card or a treaty status card, something like that, then or maybe they're new to Edmonton and
Yeah.
it's not an Alberta ID yet, then bring in a second thing that has your name and your address on it, such
Okay.
as something that's been mailed to you, or a lease agreement or a bank statement. And if you don't have that, then we can mail you something. And what
Oh,
that does is it just shows that you live here. It shows that you pay taxes in Edmonton
okay.
and that you're a resident. Because that's what kind of proves that you are living here, and that's ultimately what funds the library.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why you'd start off with your local library if you wanted to join a partnership that allowed you to use Edmonton Public Library too.
I know from personal experience, joining the library when my children were younger was such a source of pride for them because it was so empowering that they had a responsibility of having their own card for something. So even though, yes, I was the guardian and yes, I was there and part of it all, they still had the responsibility to take it, to check the books out, to show it, to present it, to make sure it was in a safe space at home so they didn't lose it. So I think this is a great way to start building the steps naturally of empowering and independent building.
I think so too. Kids love to be able to use our self-checkout machine
Mhm.
and do that process. I think it does set them up also to be a lifelong learner or reader as
Mhm.
well, when you can tell them, hey, you've had your library card ever since you were a baby or ever since you were 6 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? So um, I think that is part of the process. Some families, though, do find that managing multiple library cards is a
Mhm.
challenge. So if they would just like to have, one parent's card, then that's all right too. So it's up to
Okay.
the family, but I do think it is great for kids to have a card sometimes. And lots of kids also like to have their card too, so they can come and use the computer at the library. So
Mhm.
some older kids and teens have a lot of independence and they come and use the library on their own too.
Mhm.
And that's good for them too. The library is a community space where a lot of people come and use it like that. And we know the people that come here and the teens and the kids that come here too.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about borrowing, because that is what we can do with our card. How many books does the Edmonton Public Library have? It's another quiz question
I
for you.
I'm probably not going to be good at this guess. I'm going to say 950,000.
That's actually a really good guess.
Oh,
That's a pretty good guess, actually. There's approximately 800,000.
oh,
And this was several years ago that this statistic was put on my radar. So we probably do have around that. Yeah,
wow.
you're very close. You did a lot better than the branches, Stacy. And
Oh,
maybe who knows what the folks at home have answered. And at Woodcroft, there is about 36,000. So yes, there's a lot of things that you can borrow with your library card. And these are just the physical items, okay? And remember, there's online items too, which a lot of families like to take advantage of,
okay.
right? Because you don't need to worry about bringing them back to the library or anything like that. So bear that in mind. All right, so what are the rules? Because of course, the library does have rules. And that is just because when we share things, we have to make sure we take care of them for everybody, right? Because everyone in Edmonton shares all the things that Edmonton Public Library has. So with your card, your Edmonton Public Library card, and it looks a little bit like this, you can borrow up to 40 items at one time. 40, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
You don't have to borrow 40, okay? That's not a requirement at all. Definitely not. And in fact, you can set the limit to be lower if you want, if that's easier for you to manage. Some families find, and individuals find that much better if they know that they can only do 1 at a time or 5 at a time or 10 at a time, or that each kid can do 5 at a time or 1 at a time. And you can always change that if things change and you want to up the responsibility.
Is
Okay?
it 40 items per household or per individual?
Per card.
Per card. Okay. So if I have 2 kids, that's 80 items because they each can take out 40 maximum. Okay.
That's right. The cards aren't linked really,
Okay.
like in the system. Like then, your name would be on your kid's card as you
Right.
are the guarantor, we call it, the person who's in charge, but they're not really linked. So yeah,
Okay.
each card. Most of the items you can borrow for 3 weeks. We have some special items called hits to go. They have a special sticker on them. They're 1 week because they're the popular items that everybody's waiting for. So if you see that item on the shelf, you can grab it now, but you've only got a week. Okay. But mostly 3 weeks is you can assume is 3 weeks.
Okay.
You can renew, which means you can get another 3 weeks. You can do that 2 times as long as nobody's waiting for that item. You can renew them either by phone, or you can come in, or you can do that online. So you've got options of how to manage that borrowing. Okay. So, I'm just going to say also, we do not charge late fees. So we used to charge late fees. So if your item was, late one day, we charged you 25 cents. We don't do that anymore. But if you don't return the item, we bill you for the item. So you get an email saying you're going to owe us the price of the item. So like $25 for this book or something like this, right?
Okay.
And if that goes on too long, then your account can go into collections. If you owe more than a certain amount, $10 over a certain time, then you won't be able to borrow. Once it goes over $10, you won't be able to borrow. Your account is blocked. Okay. If you get that bill and you go, oh, my book is right here, and you just return it, then that's reversed. It's not, it's fine. That just goes away. All right.
Okay.
So that's what happens now at the library.
Okay.
If the book is damaged, same thing. It's a bill. You get sent a bill for the price of the item. We want to charge you the price of the item. You have to pay for an item that you damage or lose. Okay. But if it's just late and you have it, then just bring it back.
Okay.
Okay. All the libraries have a return slot where you can just push the item in and return it. You can return it at any of our 21 branches at almost any time. Okay, almost all have a slot you can return in 24 hours.
Yep.
Unless it's in the mall or something.
Okay.
Okay, most of them just put it away. Dark of night, don't worry. We're not looking out for you.
Okay.
All right. You get that bill and you go, oh no, I have these videos. Just boop, 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 return them. Okay.
Return. Okay.
And don't let it go too long, right? Over $40 and you leave it for 60 days, 90 days, you'll get a $15 charge for that account to go into collections. It's called a referral fee, and that one won't go away.
Okay.
And it's kind of like not paying your credit card. It can affect your credit. So if you're a library borrower, it's something to keep in mind. It's really important to return things and to return them in good condition.
Good condition.
Okay. And it's really important also, if you lose your library card, to let us know, because someone else can borrow and then not return. So when you're phoning and saying, I lost my purse and cancel my credit card, cancel your library card too, okay? And don't let anyone else borrow your library card. They can get their own.
Yeah, I never thought about that. If I lost my wallet, to cancel the library card, that would have been one of the least of my concerns. But you're right. If someone else had that card, they could take out 40 items and not return them. So yes, noted.
Yep. And some people, they let their shady boyfriend use their library card.
Oh, okay.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay, words to the wise. All right. Is that good? Any questions that families might have about that?
No, that's really helpful so far. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what kinds of things can you borrow from the library? Obviously, this gentleman has something here. What other
DVDs.
things?
Movies.
Yeah, those are DVDs, and we still lend a ton of DVDs.
It is remarkable how many people do not have DVD players anymore. I feel like that might be if you were born in the 1900s, which would be me, you would have a DVD player. I know there's so many streaming platforms, but
Yeah.
you can rent DVDs, and that you could take 40 DVDs, correct? Yes, you could.
And a lot of people take a lot of DVDs. They still do. And as well, because people don't have great internet, DVDs are really easy to browse, right? Like it's hard to find what you want to watch on the streaming sometimes, right? Also, certain things come out on certain streaming platforms and you don't have that platform. So you want to get the DVD. All right, yes, DVDs. What else? Obviously, I have to say it. Books, right? Books. But what else can we get from the library?
What else can we get from the library?
Magazines. You can get audiobooks.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So for that long drive or for doing your chores, anything like that, we still have those on CD. We still have CDs, although they are moving to be like putting on hold only. We're not going to have those anymore to browse. So those are kind of getting phased. That's a format that's kind of getting phased out eventually soon. We have video games.
Oh, like for PlayStation or for DS or for
PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. What are the other ones? The main consoles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like a range of games. So it wouldn't just be perhaps a child game. There would be adult games as well.
Yep. And games for the family. We have books in special accessibility formats like large print, and Daisy and Braille.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, we have online items, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about those.
Okay.
Sorry, I talked all that and I was looking at the wrong slide, so I didn't have it up properly. There we go. There's the list that I was looking at.
I see. Okay. When you
All
say
right.
Daisy books, sorry, can you just reiterate what that was?
Yes, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it is an accessible format and it's an audio format. And the player for Daisy is especially kind of engineered for people with visual disabilities
Okay.
so that it's easy to navigate.
Okay.
And they used to all be on discs, but it'd be one disc. So you don't need to, like a modern audiobook on disc can be like 20 discs.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
is very long. So you have to see, you know, what's disc 1, what's disc 2, right? So this one's just one disc and the player is really big. Got big buttons, but now Daisy also has MP3 or streamable type format.
Okay.
Or rather, that's downloadable. Sorry, with MP3.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so here is our famous self-checkout, like I mentioned. So what do you do at the library? Well, you pick the thing you want. You've got your library card. And you take it to the self-checkout or you take it to the staff and you scan your library card and then you scan your item and then that you've checked it out. So we know which book or DVD you've chosen and it's on your account. And then you can get a slip of paper or you can get an email or you can check your online account. You'll know when it's due in 3 weeks. And that's when you're supposed to return it.
Okay.
And remember what I said, you're responsible, or if you're a child, technically your parent is responsible for loss and damage. You will be billed. But if you have it at home, just return it.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the website?
I'm ready.
All right.
Bring it on, Lindsay.
Our website is an amazing place where you can find all the items, which are the items we talked about,
Yeah.
books, DVDs, and all that kind of stuff, and all of the online things that we talked about.
Okay.
The home for everything. And it's a really short website URL, to, you know, the little code for it. It's just epl.ca. You don't even need to put in the www usually. Okay? epl.ca. And it's going to be also on your library card.
Okay.
So once you get your library card, you can find it there. All right. So what else you need to know is that if you are going to try to find an item and use the website, you will often need to log in. And you will do that by finding a very long number on the back of your library card.
Okay.
And the confusing part is there's spaces on the card in between the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't put spaces in when you type it in on the website.
Just the whole barcode.
I don't know who thought of that, but it wasn't me.
Okay.
Okay, so pop it all the way in, and there will also be a password. And again, in some places they call it a PIN number, and in other places they call it a password, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
When we set up your card, we will give you this number. We usually set it as a 4-digit number. Sometimes just like the last 4 digits of your phone number or your birth year. Okay, and if you don't know it, you can contact us, okay, by phone or chat. We have a chat box on our website, or you can come in, or you can try this forgot your password widgety thing. But you can just contact us, all right?
Okay.
So use that to sign in for the first time, and then you can create an account which you will use with a username the next time. And then you can just remember your username. But your library card number will always work too. So either will work. Once you're logged in, you can start to find items. Let's say that you want a book or a DVD, a real physical item, and you want to find it in our collection, all the things that the library has. You can put it into our search box. Type it right in, anything you know about it, whether it's the title, the author, or the thing you know about it, the keyword or the subject. You really don't need to change anything. The keyword search works great for almost everything. So I made a little sample search here for teddy bears. Just plunk it right in. And I've got a couple things here, teddy bears. Now, on the left, we have some filters. And the filters work really well too. They work really well to narrow down so that I'm getting more exactly what I would like. In this case, I decided I just wanted books.
Mm-hmm.
So I've clicked off the book because I had some other things in here like ebooks. Okay, I just want something on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've just clicked off books here. Okay, I don't want DVDs or ebooks or anything like that. So that's something that I've just clicked off there. Another really common thing I might use the filters for is clicking off a location. Like if I wanted a book today at Woodcroft, where I am in the library, I can click off available now at Woodcroft, and then I would see what's here on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I didn't do that in this case. You can see with the first book, it says all copies in use in red. So that book is not available right now. Everybody has borrowed that book. But there's always a green button that says place a hold. And what that means is I can click that and that item is going to get sent to me when it's ready for me. Okay, so I'm going to be
Okay.
put in line for that book. So I'm going to click that, and since I'm logged in, that one is going to be, I'm going to be put online for that one. Okay, and I want to do that because I'm going to wait for that one. Because
Okay.
it's all checked out. The one below it, that one says available, and I can view details, see what branch that's at. If it's at my branch, I can find it on the shelf using the number there. But if I don't know how to use the call number, which is the number system that we use in the library to put the books on the shelf in order, it's a little bit confusing. I can always ask the staff to help me, right?
Right.
But if I know how to do it, I can find it, or I can ask for help, or I can always place a hold on that one too. And that one will just come a little sooner because it's already on the shelf somewhere. But remember, you don't have to go to the branch where it's at. If I place a hold, it will always come to the branch that I want to pick it up at. That's the
Okay.
convenience of the library. Okay.
Okay.
So it's available somewhere. I can place a hold on that one too, and it will come to me to be picked up. And I'll get a notification if I've added my email to my account, it'll send me an email or a phone number. It'll phone me if I've added my phone number.
Okay.
Okay, and then I can just go pick it up right at my branch. So that's what placing a hold is. That's what searching is, to see what the library has. A lot of people search and they think, well, maybe it'll be here next time or something like that. We have 21 branches. Often it won't be at the place where you are at. So I just recommend placing a hold and picking it up at your branch.
Yeah. Sounds easy enough.
Yeah. So that is all about searching items and placing holds. On our website, we have lots of different areas for you to explore. If you go to the services for bar on the main menu, you can see that we've got resources for adults, teens, kids 6 to 12, 0 to 5.
Mhm.
Also kind of demographics like educators, English language learners, newcomers. Okay, so there's lots to explore there. I'm just gonna show you a little snapshot of a couple of them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So this is a little snapshot of the kids page. So they're going to show you some of the new books. Okay. They might show you some blog, like a little piece of writing by one of the librarians telling you something about kids content or something going on at the library, something like that. Oops, sorry, I'm going backwards. There we go, 6012. And they might tell you, sorry guys, they might tell you, they'll have links to our kids' e-resources as well. So that's something I'm going to give you a little bit more detail on too in a few minutes. All right.
Okay.
I just also wanted to highlight a certain type of item that we have here too called English language learning at the library. We have books from different countries in languages other than English. So we have certain world language books. We have books, CDs, and DVDs all about speaking English, English grammar, pronunciation, spelling, and vocabulary. We have bilingual picture dictionaries where it's got a picture, it's got the English, and it's got the other language. We've got sets where you listen to the CD and read the book at the same time. And we've got special books that are at a easier reading level so that you can practice reading your English. And you can find more also on the part of the website that's for English language learners and newcomers.
So would this be the time to ask a question about, yeah. So one of my questions is just accessibility. And so a couple questions. If I am a newcomer, and I'm coming to the library and I'm needing some assistance, what type of supports or resources are there for me at the library?
For newcomers, we have classes, and I'm going to cover those
Okay.
in a little bit. But I did want to tell folks about our settlement workers, and you will find more about them. And I think maybe actually I will go live to the website.
Okay.
If I bring this over here, do you see it over here?
We did. Now we just see your screen, but we did see, oh, there we go.
You see it there
Back.
now.
So borrowing guide.
Okay, you see the borrowing guide. Now I'm going to show you, this is the services bar.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And
and I see exactly how you showed us on the other slide. Adults, kids, 0 to 5, 6 to 12 students,
yeah,
teens. Got it. Yep,
those
got it.
guys. And then here's parents, educators,
Yep.
language learners, and newcomers.
Okay.
And here we have information about our English language learning classes. Those are put on by our partners. So we have some, they're all kind of conversation circles. So they're informal speaking. So they're not, how to write, how to read, how to do your TOEFL, TOEIC exams, okay? They're listening and speaking, and they're done by LACE, which is Catholic Social Services, or PALS, Project Adult Literacy Society, or Jewish Family Services.
And I see underlined, sorry, it had said 30 world languages. So there's free services, resources, and materials available in 30 different languages to help you transition and enjoy life.
So these are like I said, we have books that are in, folks' language that they might have come from their country. Here's, some sort of, like I said, these blogs, things that people might want to read to learn more. But here's the information about the settlement practitioners.
Okay.
So these are our partners from EISA, Edmonton Immigrant Services Association. Oh, and I did forget, and now I'm remembering that we also have FRAP, Francophone Albertain Pluriel. So there are French services available too.
Okay.
We have a lot more people also coming that speak in French.
Mhm. Mhm.
So these partners, they work in the library and they are able to help people who have come to Canada and need support adjusting to Canadian life, and they might need resources. They might need help with their settlement forms, with their documents, with housing, with clothing, with employment, all these things that they might need
Mhm.
help with,
Mhm.
and they don't have, they're not connected to an agency. They
Mhm.
can
Mhm.
come to the public library and meet with a person here from EISA or FRAP.
Do they need to have a library card to do that? Or is this an example of one of the things you do not need a library card for?
Oh, that's a really good question. They don't need a library card.
Okay.
But I think they do, it says they do need to be eligible, but I think that just means, you know, they need to be permanent resident,
Okay.
refugee claimant, you know,
Okay.
just eligible to work with EISA or FRAP.
And sorry, can I ask another question?
Yes.
Would they, the settlement practitioners or sorry, I'm trying to find the right name and it got scrolled down. Would they be able to, yeah, settlement practitioners, be able to help when you said forms, like what type of forms? I know there's like, you had mentioned housing and so forth. Would they be able to help with perhaps filling out an FSCD application or a family support for children with disabilities or family support services or a PDD, persons with developmental disabilities? Would they be able to help support someone in filling out that type of document?
I believe so. I believe they can help to get them the right documentation and get them going. I don't know that they can sit down and, you know, do the form bit by bit with each
Right.
person, but they can support them.
Okay.
We do
And
at the library though. You make me think of all the good things, and that's why I enjoy having the conversation with you, Stacy. At the library, we do have a new program called Navigating the Application or the Form Filling Out. So we have volunteers that will help people to fill out a form.
okay.
So I will make sure that we look at that one too. So when I show you where our find the
Yeah.
programs are, that's where you can also find that one.
So I don't see a phone number on here, but I guess if you were wanting to talk to a settlement practitioner, you
Yeah.
would just, okay, I see. Go down to the
So
branch. So
yeah,
if
so
you wanted,
they're not at all the branches.
okay,
They're at select locations.
okay,
Okay. And then here's the number for EISA main
okay.
office.
Hmm.
But yes, if you had a branch that you were close to, you could phone that branch and get connected with the worker. So in the
Okay,
branch, we have the information for each of our settlement practitioners,
okay.
and they're here on different days. So we have access to their schedule here in the branch.
And do they liaise with the schools? Do you know?
Yes, EISA is also placed in schools. So
In Edmonton Public Schools or Edmonton
and
Catholic?
Catholic.
Okay.
So it's sort of the same program, but
Yeah.
it's EISA in both places, the library and the school.
Interesting.
Yep.
And so I'm assuming they would collaborate then. So if you were trying to fill out a form somewhere and you needed also something from a school, they could collaborate to ensure you're getting all the support that you need.
I think they could. They know each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're working from EISA. Yep, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Let's see. So yeah, here's a little bit about the databases, and I wasn't going to go deep because I could do a whole thing on all
Yeah.
databases. I was going to dig into the kids ones a bit, but
That'll
just,
be part two for us, Lindsay. That'll be
yeah,
another day.
just to be aware that people can do English practice and study for IELTS and Canadian citizenship exams all online through our
Okay.
online learning databases. Just know that they're
Okay.
there,
Okay.
and then you can come in and ask to be shown them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And I just saw you could get a magazine, and there was one that was in, I'm not sure if it was Cantonese or Mandarin, but there's different
different language
languages
magazines,
of what you
yes.
could pull a magazine out of. That's great.
Just making sure that my bits about accessible materials my slides didn't get hidden. No, they're just a little bit later in my presentation. Okay. Now, the digital content that we were just talking about is viewable from that same main menu, but under digital content.
Okay.
And you can go straight to kids' online resources. Actually, this might be a good place for me to switch my presentation. I do want to show you the kids' ones. Okay. And you do need that same library card number and PIN number to log into these databases.
Okay.
Because they are very expensive. They cost the library money, lots of money, and they are the good stuff. And they're excellent value. So if you have an Edmonton, and you cannot get them through the partnership with the other libraries, neighboring libraries.
Okay.
Okay. So I showed you digital content, and then there's a list of all of these that comes up. And if you like some of these and you've jotted them down, the other way to find them is you can just plug them right into the search box that I showed you. So there's two ways to get there. You can browse the list, or you can plug them into the box. Okay, so as I mentioned, digital content. And then you can go learn, or you can go the kids' online resources. So these are excellent for families, and I know that some families are supporting kids learning at home. They might be at home right now from EPSB, or, you know, they might be doing some online learning as part of their learning, right? So we have some of these online resources are things like ebooks or animated ebooks. Tumble Books is great because it has a variety of animated stories in a variety of types of formats. So some of them are just plain ebooks that you can scroll through and read together, but some of them are also a little bit animated. So instead of just, you know, watching maybe just some of the YouTube videos, you can click onto Tumble Books and have content that is just a lot more literary. You can click on a title and see its grade level, its reading level, and you can read along or also watch a video related to the book.
And it looks like there's puzzles and games as well. So if you clicked on that, I'm assuming it would bring you directly to some type of activity you could do online as well.
Yeah, there's related activities, exactly. So just a little bit of, I think, any of these things that we're going to be looking at are, the screen time is a little bit more elevated than what you might be looking at otherwise. Probably the best place to get your ebooks and audiobooks for kids is either through Overdrive Kids or Libby. So it's kind of the same thing. Overdrive is the collection of ebooks. And so you could access that through a browser on your computer through Overdrive and click on the kids so that you've filtered it just to kids. Or you get Libby, the app, for your mobile device. Okay, and if you need any help installing or getting started with our apps and you have a mobile device, you can bring it right to the library and we will help you. Okay. We also have a tech time, let's say at Woodcroft specifically, on Sunday mornings at 11, and other branches might have it at different times if you need a little more of a dedicated time to sit down and to make sure that you've got a sit down time with us to work on a device question. Okay, but
That was
Libby,
one of my, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. That was one of my questions. So if I'm an individual living with a disability, regardless if I'm a child or if I'm an adult, if I need a little bit extra support or resources, the library is able to accommodate that and spend the time I need in filling that out or completing that or trying to search for this, downloading the app, whatever that may look like. Okay.
yes, digital literacy is one of our priorities at EPL, and people tell us again and again, it's our patience, and that is what they appreciate the most, is that we know how challenging it can be for anyone, no matter their age, no matter what, to sit down and learn how to use the device and learn how to use the services. So like, we are so experienced to sit down and work with people on it. So we are very much willing to do that. And if we're busy at the time, like I say, the tech time is the class to look for in our offerings to see when that is happening, because that is the time where you'll get a 20-minute dedicated time slot. First come, first serve. We've got 3 20-minute slots to bring your device, bring your question, and we'll work it through with you. So the Libby app, you download that from your device's store. It's just called Libby by Overdrive, just like it is there, Libby. And this one's really easy to set up because you don't need to create an account. You just put in that library card number and the PIN number, and you choose your library, Edmonton Public Library, and you're pretty much getting started with that app.
Okay.
And there's so many wonderful kids ebooks on there and kids audiobooks. And as I mentioned with repetition, you know, not that you don't want to read a book with your child over and over, but at some point you can automate it as well. You're reading to your child lots and lots, but you can also have your child listening to the audiobook,
Right.
you know, and reading an ebook, but, you know, listening to that audiobook over and over. There's so much vocabulary that can come from that, and comfort from a familiar audiobook. I can't recommend enough getting Libby or Overdrive going for the kids selection that they have, and the convenience of that as well. You download it and you can even listen offline. So when you're on the bus or on a car ride or anything like that, you know, plug in the headphones and away you go with your favorite book.
You listen to a story instead of watching a movie.
That's right. You know,
Those long road trips. Yep.
Multiple modes of learning. And again, it's all free, right? You don't need to pay to subscribe to this service. Here's another service called Early World of Learning. This one is by World Book. So, I mean, you can't fault that name recognition, right? This one is for the early grades, and there's a wealth of resources here for preschoolers and children in the early grades. It's sort of gamified, right? So there's games and videos, but it's all educational.
Okay.
This one is Novelist Plus. This one has material for all ages, including picture books, chapter books, young adult titles, and books for adult readers. So this one is basically it's a support to help you to choose new books and titles. So it's got read-alikes. So say you like this book, how do I find another book like that? Or how do I put together a book list? Or how do I recommend something? Or how do I find a book at the right reading level? So this one might be really good for those that are supporting readers at home, let's say, or trying to find books in a really certain type of material, let's say, on a theme. There's connections to the curriculum, and I believe there's links even to the catalog. So when you found a book, you can link it and find it at EPL.
Okay.
This one is the same, only specifically for young readers, doesn't include the adult titles. Teaching books is similar. It's meant as a resource to support finding titles and finding new books. So a little bit more for that.
Okay.
Now, BrainFuse is an amazing educational support resource for all ages K to 12. This is the one that I recommend when people are looking for homework help support. Okay, so it's got online live tutoring. So it's a chat tutor between certain amount of time per day. You can log on online and get an online chat teacher to help you. It's based on our curriculum here, so they're familiar with the lessons that kids will be having. You can send your writing in to the writing lab and get a response with feedback. There's a certain turnaround time where they can submit and get it back. Same with a question. There's other learning resources there too. And BrainFuse also has a sister resource called Job Now. And it has resumes and employment skill development resources, including the live help as well, for adults who are looking for employment. And this is also one that the English language learners and other adults, I think, would really want to take advantage of. And they also have skill building for adults and ELL and TOEFL resources as well in their adult skill building. Here it is, the ESL for the help now.
Okay. Oh, that was one of my questions where it said about tests. I don't remember on the last slide what it said, but I was going to ask about diplomas. Oh, it was test prep, I think. So there is prep you can take for high school diploma tests. Okay.
Yes, there's some here in BrainFuse, but as if you've just set me up here for my next slide, Stacy.
Okay.
Because the ultimate resource, the resource we all bow down to,
Okay.
is Celero. Celero is an amazing one that EPL subscribes to, which is Alberta specific curriculum for grades 3 to 12. And this one's amazing for the diploma exam.
Okay.
And for the other tests as well. If anyone's familiar with the key guides or the SNAP guides, this is the same information, but online. So it's always up to date. And I'll tell you, those books are always checked out.
Really?
And they're dog-eared, you know?
Yeah.
And talk about placing a hold. You're placing a hold in your number, whatever, in line, whereas this is always available and online.
That's just what I was going to say. So that's where this is a big benefit.
Yes.
Also for accessibility reasons, if you can't get to the library, so you can access this online at home or wherever you are. That's
right. So this is amazing. Everyone loves Celero. The teachers who are in the know, they just go wild for Celero.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the ultimate resource.
And you said grade 3 to 12 or 6 to 12?
Grade 3 to 12 or 3 to 12. Yeah, 3 to 12. Here's another look at it. Here's an example. So there'll be a sort of a module, and you'll go through the topics and sort of like a little study module, and then there'll be the assessment and a sort of a practice tests.
Interesting.
Which are great too, because part of doing a test well is practicing doing that type of test. That's why they're so good for the diplomas and the PATs, because they've got the same kind of super tricky multiple choice questions.
Yeah,
So
and
we,
I'm just thinking about from a parent perspective, if my child has an IPP or an IEP, so an individual program plan or
yeah,
an individual education plan, I'm sure you've heard of both of those, um, how this could actually help them as well. Because I see practice tests. So perhaps if one of the tests had less questions or different types, I'm just wondering on what accommodation would look like for that as well. And if the teachers are familiar with Celero, do they also, is there something they could do within the IPP to feed into this? So just a thought I had as you were talking about it, because I hadn't heard of Celero.
yeah, I mean, they're not all super familiar with Solera. I mean, all the librarians are trying to get everyone familiar with all this stuff. So this
Hmm.
is what's great about spreading awareness this way, like we are. But
Hmm.
so I don't know if you can modify it, but I think just any type of exposure, getting practice, getting
Yeah,
familiarity with the format
and
is going
even
to
some
reduce anxiety,
flashcards.
you know?
Yeah, like
That's
even
what I
something
think.
as a tool like a flashcard at the bottom, I see like all of those things could be very beneficial. So,
Yes, the flashcard. And I think that BrainFuse has a um, flashcard maker or something too.
okay.
So these, like I say, these all support the at-home learning, whether
Interesting.
that's just on your own time for homework help, or whether
Yeah.
folks are doing partially at-home learning, or they're doing their own type of learning at home. These are
Mhm.
invaluable.
Okay.
We have certain of these databases are kind of for research. You know, you can write your little research paper, or answer your homework question using these databases. I'm kind of focused on the ones for the younger grades, but there are corresponding ones for the older grades too, for the content area. So for science and social studies.
Okay.
Okay, so there are animal science and social studies for the younger kids, which are Pebble Go, and then there are sort of similar databases for the older kids too. So I just helped my daughter to look up some articles on camels for her informational report for grade 5.
Hmm.
And she did very well. So we found some great camel articles and facts that she could then, you know,
Interesting.
rephrase and write about for her
Yeah.
report. And, you know, they had a lot more details. You know, we found one book in the library here on camels.
Yeah.
So that was an okay start, but these articles from the databases had some other complementary information that we were able to use, and they were up to date.
Okay. Great.
We've got world languages for kids. So these are gamified. They're fun to do. So these are language learning resources that are ebooks. So this
Mhm.
is AV2 and also Muzzy.
Mhm.
So preschool to elementary school age.
Mm.
And even streaming video for kids. So again, you know, as an alternative to something,
Mhm.
an open platform like YouTube Kids, we've got Canopy, where there are some videos that are um, vetted. It's an unlimited play in Canopy Kids,
Mm.
enriching, educational, entertaining, as well as K-12 instructional films and lessons, as well as animated picture books too.
Hmm.
Hoopla also. Hoopla is our other platform, which has audiobooks,
Okay.
ebooks, music, music albums, as well as videos and TV.
Okay.
So that was a little,
There is so much to learn at the library. Oh my goodness.
scoop through the kids' e-resources. But bear in mind that there's a world of adults as well, adult
Right.
learning resources as well.
Right. It's not just for kids, it's for
Not
everyone
just for
and anyone
kids.
at
So
any age.
that Libby app, right, has ebooks and audiobooks for you as well. You know, parents, for you to unwind or for you to learn.
Mhm.
We have online newspapers, magazines, and guides. As Stacy so astutely noted, not all of those are even in English. We've got online newspapers from around the
Mm,
world. So if you want to
yeah.
read about what's happening in your home country, you can do that in your own language. We've got databases on genealogy and health and all sorts of topics. And Canopy and Hoopla have movies and music for adults too, of course. And also courses that are totally free for you as well, adults.
Okay.
Here's 3 that are available as apps. That's for Canopy, for Libby, and for Hoopla. So those go
Okay.
right on your phone or your tablet.
Okay.
This is just a little screenshot of Hoopla.
Okay.
This is a little screenshot of Gale courses. So if you would like to learn, you know, Microsoft Word or do something in education or photography, these Gale courses, they have a real instructor. It's an online course, but these ones are quite, you enroll at a certain time and they're done by a deadline.
But there's no fee. There's no
Nope,
cost for these
totally free.
courses. Courses run for 6 weeks and new sessions begin every month.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
So I recommend going in and clicking through these topics and looking what's under business, accounting.
Hmm.
So you could help with your skill development if you're looking for a new job, something like that.
Hmm. Well, also just for those that are inquisitive and lifelong learners.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely. You know, there's even things in there for creative writing, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And language learning too, as well for adults. So
Yeah.
again, okay, this is my also tip for the day is don't pay for anything before you check to see if the library has it.
Yeah, good point.
It's a
Yeah,
great way to save money. We have
before you
consumer
pay.
reports for free. Like, don't sign up for a subscription to the New York Times or
Okay.
anything because we offer all that for free.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point to put out there for everyone.
Pinch those pennies. They say that tough economic times are coming. And that is a great time for libraries. For using the library.
Yeah, yeah. Clarify that. Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to get into a little of the nitty-gritty with accessibility.
Okay.
Okay. So this might be relevant to some families, okay?
Mhm.
So here's a picture of the Daisy Reader that I talked about. This is an older type of the Daisy Reader.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the machine that has the larger buttons so you can feel
Yeah.
them and navigate, and the
Yeah.
single disc.
Okay.
So that's an audio Daisy format. Nowadays, too, you can get a Daisy Reader. It's quite small, and they can load the MP3s onto it, and there's no disc, it's just MP3s. And it can also be loaded from far away.
Interesting. Okay.
And the public library is kind of a person's first stop if they might have a print disability. And a print disability could be many things. It could be a visual disability is what we might first think of, right? But it could also be a learning disability, or it could be a physical disability, like you can't hold the book easily. Okay, it could be cognitive disability. So there could be a lot of reasons why someone has challenges to read a traditional book. And for any of those reasons, they could come to the library and we can sign them up for the 2 services in Alberta,
Mhm.
SELA and NELS. Center for Equitable Library Access, and National Network for Equitable Library Services. We're lucky in Alberta because we've got 2. And
Okay.
you don't need a medical certificate for either of those. You can just identify that you have the print disability for whatever reason, and we just make a little boop in your library account, and then you're eligible for these.
So this is you can just self-identify as having a disability. There's no documentation that has to come with that.
That's correct.
Great.
And then we just sort of turn that on in your library account. And
Okay.
then we can also help to navigate like setting up an account, let's say, for online for each of these so that you can access their whole network of resources. Okay, so CELA is kind of like CNIB, that's kind of like their library. Okay.
Yeah.
Nels, I can't remember off the top of my head who's, oh, maybe this will tell me. Doesn't tell me who they are with, but I know that CELA is kind of like CNIB's library. Okay. And so they have a whole kind of collection of things like ebooks, Daisy books, Braille, that kind of stuff. Like CELA will send Daisy discs out to people directly. They will print Braille and mail it to them. They will load their Daisy readers with the MP3s, all that kind of stuff for them.
Okay.
So it's a great service.
And do they do the opposite too then, is send it back to the library?
No, you don't have to send it back.
So if you're receiving CDs though, for example, like I'm just thinking of something tangible, there's no need.
I don't believe so. Definitely not with the Braille, I don't think.
Okay.
With the discs, I don't think so, because I think they just sort of burn them for you. That's
I
my
don't know.
memory of how it works.
Interesting.
Um,
That's helpful. Okay.
yep, that's my memory of how it works. And if you have another device as well that can access those formats, then you just access them, right? So if you've got a different type of reader, or like if you're just reading on a computer, let's say with a screen reader, then you just go right into their library of ebooks and go right for it. And I'm going to show you, for example, an app called Dolphin app, and that's a great way to access access any type of ebook, an audiobook, for example, because that's a special accessible type company that has apps and
Okay.
things like that. The other thing we can offer that's just a really easy fix too is if you just need longer with your
Yeah.
materials because you have a disability, then we can do that. You can get an extended loan, and that is just sort of this is just a change we make to your library account so that you are an extended loan customer with us.
That was one of my questions earlier when it was the 3-week borrowing time, if you do make accommodations or if there are extra time. So again, all you need to do is self-identify as having a disability. You don't need to provide any medical documentation. And there's things such as this extended time period that you can access.
That's right.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. And it's still, you can still renew them the 2 times.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay. We also have a program called home service. And what that means is we can bring items to your home.
Wow.
So if you cannot get to the library,
Right.
and then that is sort of more of a for at least certain period of time. It's not kind of a one-time thing.
Right.
If this is a situation that you have, then
Right.
we can do that. And either you can pick the items if you can do so yourself from your computer or whatever, and you want to choose them, and that's great, and we can deliver them. Or if you'd like us to select them, then we can select them and deliver. Or if you've got a family member who can come pick them up, then we can arrange that. So they're sort of, we bag them up, and that's how we do it.
So just thinking outside the box as a
Yep.
mom, I know that this makes sense for senior residences, and so I feel like that may be a more common clientele that you may have accessing this. But
Yeah,
can you also do the home service for a family who has a extremely complex medical fragile child who it's
yeah.
really difficult to get out of the house. It's really difficult even for the parent to get out of the house to go get groceries, let alone go to the library. So would the home service be accessible to a family like that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. That's why I left it on. I mean, I guess it's got the senior thing on there. The senior residence is on there. So obviously senior residence doesn't apply, but home service would apply
Yeah.
to anyone with a disability.
Okay,
Or, I
great.
mean, I guess anyone with a barrier, that type
Yeah,
of barrier to going to the library,
right. Okay,
you know?
thank you.
So, yeah, and I mean, most of the people are older, but like we have someone who right now is not older.
Yeah, yeah. I can just see of so many other reasons other than being
Yes. And
older in
I
a
think we
senior.
need to
Yeah,
think about more of those reasons and we need to let more people know about this
exactly.
service. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm glad to be talking about it.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great for the Gateway families to know that.
Yeah. In fact, we had someone and we had to like figure out there was something about the lending of the video games because we'd never had a video game go out on this type of card account because we'd
Ah,
always had older people.
yeah.
And so then we were like, oh, there's something funny about the way that the video game lending was happening with this type of account because it was
Okay,
brand new to have someone. So that was interesting about
okay. Yeah,
so yeah, I think, we need to be expanding our reach
that's right.
with this. Yeah, that's
Again,
exactly.
everybody's learning.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's exactly right. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show families was Dolphin. That they should take a look at Dolphin Easy Reader app. If they Google that, they'll come to Dolphin's landing page.
Okay,
And Dolphin has an app for the smartphone, but they also have a number of products and they have a screen reader and they do a lot in the accessibility space. And I think that they're the best, they're a really great one that I've seen that can do like text to speech. So you can sort of put in any ebook and they'll speak it. And they're one that I think are recommended, for example, for like CELA or CNIB's library of ebooks. Once you're signed up for that, you can use the Dolphin Easy Reader app, for example, to access that library. So
okay.
that's an extra one to know about. Even if you've got Libby, let's say, but maybe people might also who need more accessibility or a screen reader, that kind of thing, should definitely explore the Dolphin Easy Reader.
Okay.
Okay. So here they say they have the largest collection of accessible libraries and talking newspaper stands.
Hmm.
So you can copy text from anywhere on your device and listen to it on Easy Reader, for example. Or I've had people ask me about, something that they could read and listen to at the same time.
Yeah.
Text and audio here perfectly synchronized to read
Hmm.
along as you listen.
Yeah.
Here it says to Easy Reader opens and reads books received on CD, DVD, USB, or Daisy player. So again, I haven't dug in so deep because I do a little bit of everything, but
Yeah.
this is what I found. So this is what I would offer families to,
But it
if you need
sounds like,
something, look at this.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
sounds like if a family did want to dig deeper, they would also have your support if they had a question on how to find out more information on accessing this or
Yes, and we would definitely connect them to Sela or Nels and
yeah.
yeah.
Great. Thanks. Thanks,
Okay,
Lindsay.
so that's my little dive into accessibility. All right. Classes and events. This is my favorite part.
Yeah, I keep waiting for this. I'm like, okay, classes, what are there? Come on. There's lots.
Okay, we're going back to that main Main menu. Now, I will say that if you're on a mobile device,
Okay,
this main menu will look like little,
a little different.
it'll look like this.
We can't see because we
Oh,
just see your books. It's okay because you have a background, so when you hold it up, we just see this box of your books in the background.
can you see me though?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Oh yeah.
It's just when you hold up something to the camera.
Oh, you haven't seen any things I held up? Oh,
I no,
no
the
visual
library
aids.
card we could see a bit of.
Okay, it looks like a little bit of lines,
Okay, okay,
just some vertical lines,
okay,
rather sort of horizontal lines. And they call that a hamburger menu.
okay.
Okay. And just so you know, because people might be on their mobile device, that always means there's a menu there.
Okay.
So click on that, and that's your main menu. And then you're going to go to what's on.
Okay.
And that's when you can see our classes and events. Or it might just show like a little calendar, just
Mhm.
like the little picture beside the what's on here on my screen. Okay, and that's when you know it's our classes and events. And there might be filters, just like the other filters that we saw when we were looking for a book, so that you could choose like the age of the person, or you could choose what you're interested in, like newcomers, English language learners, or early literacy, or you could choose your branch, okay? Or you could
Mhm.
call us or come in.
Mhm.
Okay, we always have a paper calendar too that shows everything that's happening. Okay, there's a few ways to see what's on.
I just did it on my phone because I wanted to see what it looked like. So
Did I describe it the right way?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it looks quite accessible. It looks pretty user friendly to be able to scroll through. I see there's a 90s week coming March 22nd to 29th at
That's
the
spring
Stanley
break.
Milner Library.
That's spring break too.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is spring
And I
break.
didn't put any slides. I should go live to the website too. I'm gonna rip through this and then we'll just look at live at the website and then we'll also do the tour. Because I can't forget to show my friend Emily on the tour.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it shows capital city in conversation, like shopping local. So there's an event. So yeah, there's a slew of information on there.
Okay. So if you've got a little, so you've got a baby or a toddler, early literacy is what we call that, because it's
Mhm.
all the things that your child learns about language before he or she learns to read. Okay, so that is for our babies and toddlers. So Sing, Sign, Laugh, and Learn, that is our most popular program. You're going to find that at every library. Okay, every library we do this program, and it's for everybody 3 and under and their caregiver. Okay, and it is so much fun. And you know, the kids move around just like it says. I wrote sling. Look at that. It's a typo.
I saw sling and I was thinking, do you mean like when the babies are in the sling,
Oh my
like the
gosh,
mom's
I never even
carrying
noticed
them?
that before.
That's okay.
That's mortifying. Okay. Sing, sign, laugh, and learn. It's sing. You know, they sing, and we do a little bit of baby
Yeah.
sign. It's not ASL, it's just a little bit of baby sign.
Okay.
And they laugh and they learn. And baby lap time is for babies and caregivers, and the babies are under 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. And you may see some of these other ones at the other branches. Okay. These are
Okay.
maybe yes, maybe no. Like
Okay.
family story times for everyone, you know, preschoolers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. All these are free, remember. You don't need a
Right.
library card.
Right.
Kids, we have all sorts of things for kids to explore and discover, things that they can make and do.
Mhm.
A lot of the things we call our STEAM, that's like science,
Yeah.
technology, engineering, art, and math. That's what that stands for. So all that kind of making projects and getting creative,
Yeah.
doing robots, things like that might be under STEAM. Okay. We have, and Discovery Club. We have all sorts of things with Lego. We have things that are kind of making and creating. We have our summer, and actually I should change that, summer reading club. We are calling it Summer Reading Fest. So we have all sorts of fun things happening all summer long where you track your reading and you can get prizes and incentives that help you to keep reading all summer, and all sorts of classes and fun things that you can do. We
And when will
also
that,
have things happening during spring break. So we're going to take a look at that.
I'm sorry,
Um,
Lindsay, that I interrupted.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say about the summer, I'm like, and when would families find out about that? When would that be posted on what the summer programs are?
Mm, Probably a month, probably a couple months ahead, maybe a month or two ahead.
Yeah, like I realized we're just coming into spring break in a couple weeks, so probably not until maybe May you would start getting summer program information.
Yeah, and we send it out to the schools,
Okay, okay,
and we visit the school and we do a presentation.
okay.
Summer is a big thing,
Yeah, for
big thing.
sure.
So yeah, so we always do Lego. Um, we do things like Dungeons and Dragons in some branches. We do all sorts of things. So it varies a lot for kids, but it's all about making, creating, reading. Some of the branches have kind of homework clubs. Right now at Woodcroft, actually, we've got a new thing where we've got some tutoring happening
Oh,
after school. Every second week here, they've got a table for directions tutoring. So that is brand new for us, and we're very excited about that.
and there's no fee for tutoring.
Nope.
And it's ages what? It's like grade or K to
This one's actually for teens.
for teens. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Speaking of teens, look at these teens.
Look at these
I
teens.
just love them.
As someone who has one right now, I'm glad you appreciate that.
These is like, you just wait.
Just wait. They're great.
We've got such fun teens. They come to Woodcroft for Teen Lounge at my branch, where they can play video games and board games, and they can make stuff on our Cricut machine and all sorts of stuff.
Cool.
We've got some branches Youth Talk, which is actually for newcomer teens. That's put on
Okay.
by our Action for Healthy Communities. Some
Okay.
of our Northside branches have that going on. Some of our branches have a teen book club, which is really cool. Dungeons and Dragons.
So I'm just reading this and Resilient Immigrant Foundation Teen Book Club. Can you explain what that is?
I found that on
Oh,
our events list, and I'm not sure if that's
okay.
current, and I
Okay.
can't remember where that was happening, but
Okay.
we can search that up.
We can look into that. Okay.
Mhm.
It just caught my eye and I was
I
like,
know.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, eh? Yeah. So, and then there's a homework club. Now, a few of these are virtual. A few of the
Mhm.
after school ones are virtual.
Yeah. Okay.
The tutoring or the homework ones,
Okay.
which is accessible for some people.
Hmm.
Yeah. We participate in the Young Readers' Choice Awards, in which young people read and vote for their favorite young adult titles.
Oh, wow.
So
Cool.
everyone can do that from home too. Just watch our videos, read, and vote. And we bring this into the schools and do presentations. So I just wanted to put a little shout out there.
Cool.
The voting deadline is April 15th. So if you have read any of these books and you like them, please vote.
You have time. Yes.
Just a little time.
You have a lot of collaboration with the school. It's great.
Yeah, we do try to. Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. We have got partnerships with all the public school boards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why it's so great to come in with Gateway as well, because it's such a source of community, and so it's extending its reach even more. So it's fantastic. Makerspace. Yes, I've heard
Makerspace.
lots about this.
Yeah, it's very hot for sure. The idea behind Makerspace is that libraries are not only a place to consume content, like
Hmm.
read something that someone else wrote or watch a video they made or listen to music that someone else created, but also to create your own things.
Yeah.
So the main makerspace is downtown, but some of the other branches have small makerspaces too.
Mhm.
And a lot of the classes that we have some makerspace components too. They could have makerspace components and equipment. So here we see someone building something with our little bit circuits, and we have someone creating music in a recording studio.
Yeah.
So we've got recording studio at downtown and at White Mud Crossing branch. We have laser cutting and vinyl cutting and 3D printing,
Mhm.
Cricut cutting. I think that's the same. Vinyl cutting is the Cricut machine.
It's the Cricut. Yeah.
Yeah. And some branches also have sewing machine.
And so they could teach you, there's sewing classes so you can learn how actually to sew.
Yeah, there's classes for some of these that go along with some of these equipment.
Yeah.
So for most of them, you need to do a little online
Yeah. Yeah. For the
certification thing so
Cricut.
that you
Yeah.
can use the equipment.
Mhm.
And then you can either just go use the equipment, like book a time and use it, or you can also attend a class. Like they'll go and they'll Cricut a little something and then iron it onto a tote bag or something, or make a mug. And then those are free if it's in a class. But if you want to use the Cricut, let's say, or the 3D printer, you do pay for the amount of the plastic or the vinyl, let's say, that you use.
Materials you use. Yeah.
Yeah, just the materials you use. So it's very cool.
It's very cool. And we've been to Makerspace, and that's just, it's really cool. It's a really cool thing to bring your kids to. It's a cool way to explore and try things out that you wouldn't try maybe somewhere else because you wouldn't have maybe some of those things at home to try.
Yeah, because it's expensive
Yeah.
equipment for sure. And there's a special children's makerspace downtown.
Just at the downtown library.
Yes,
Okay.
it's for children, and the class is there for children.
Okay.
So I've seen some really neat things come out of the children's makerspace classes.
Yeah. Really cool.
And if you make something in this class, sometimes they'll send it to your local branch for pickup,
Okay.
like your little 3D thing or whatever. So that's where I've seen some really cute things.
Yeah.
Like it was like a children's makerspace class where they've made a tiny t-shirt for a teddy bear or something.
Yeah.
And then it comes in the internal mail to be picked up at Woodcroft. It's like,
Yeah, and it's incredible because again, that's free. So yeah, you may
yeah,
have had to pay for material, but you've learned a whole new way of doing something without it costing anything.
but you don't pay if it's a class.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so very good, but you got to get into the class. So I believe with Makerspace, they might have a drop-in registration hybrid model. Some classes in general are drop-in and some are registered.
Okay.
So that's something to be aware of, I think, for people who are wanting to take a class
Okay.
for barriers. But again, we can always help people to get registered. So gaming is also big at the library. Downtown, they had a special dedicated makers or gamer space for trying out games. They have a place to stream, watch people playing on the big screen, and they had some retro games. Hey, Stacy,
I can imagine what a retro game is. Yes.
Ms. Pac-Man or something on the
Pac-Man.
big machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the branches have bookable consoles. So again, same thing. If you know, your family's maybe not going to buy that PlayStation 5, but you could come to Woodcroft and you can book an hour and play our PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a really cool family activity that you can do for a lot of folks that don't have accessible options to have some of these things at home. It's not a
definitely.
reality for many. So that's a beautiful thing that you could go and again, as a family, not individually, you could do this as a family as well.
Yeah, and you can do it as individuals too. Like a lot of teens do it.
With a friend
Yep,
or a sibling.
yep, definitely. And it makes gaming more social.
That's right. Right.
It does actually, yeah. I mean, I don't mind seeing the teens game so much here because they're out of the basement and they're here with their friends.
Yes.
So I love that. Okay, the kitchen. This is a very unique feature of our downtown Milner flagship location. It's a
Mhm.
teaching kitchen, which has all sorts of appliances and up-to-date features. We offer basic and intermediate classes as well as workshops, demonstrations. Uh, it sort of goes through the spectrum as far as there are food literacy
Mhm.
as well as fancy chef type things.
Mhm.
Okay. And some of them too are partnerships, let's say we've had partnerships with agencies and with newcomer groups and, you
Mhm.
know, toward, they're kind of showing us cuisine of their country, that kind of thing. So the kitchen is so popular. This is one exception where they do charge for
Okay.
a small amount for the class, I think sometimes
Okay.
for the ingredients.
Yeah.
And because they're so popular, probably too, that they don't want people signing up and canceling. I'm guessing. I think it's
So,
mostly for the ingredients, but it's also that these classes fill up in a matter of 45 seconds.
so when a class opens for the kitchen, you'd want to be on top of this to get a spot.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think instead of our website, this one kicks you over to Eventbrite,
Okay.
I think. So if you want
And
to
is
do a
the fee
kitchen
is
class with your family, because some of them are kid and family
yeah,
fun as well, yeah, you need to be knowing when that class, when they
opens.
open, like when they open the registration and
Mhm.
ready to sign up immediately online.
That's another cool family activity to do together.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's a nominal fee. So I'm assuming it's not, $200. It's maybe, I don't,
No. Sorry, I've just got a thing going off. It's under $20 for sure.
yeah. Great. Okay.
We already touched on the English language learning conversation circles.
Yeah.
We also have Indigenous partnerships and programming, including Cree language learning classes done through our partnership with Canadian Native Friendship Center, special events and speakers. Voices of the Land, which is an online space that we provide the platform, but it is for preserving stories and for them to curate collection, basically
Mhm.
online collection and preservation. We have elders in residence that are partnering with us for the public to be able to meet with. And we also offer a ceremony space. Also, that's a special feature that is built into the downtown Milner Library.
Okay.
We offer a number of employment and financial literacy programs, and those are usually in partnership as well. That's
Mhm.
often through our life skills series, and some of them are online,
Okay.
virtual through Zoom, which is convenient. And some of them are in person. So they might be the Make Tax Time Pay tax workshops, which are coming up. Those are coming up. So those are at several branches. I think E4C does those.
Okay.
We've got fraud protection and various topics through CPA or BGS employment workshops. We've got tenant empowerment, things like that.
Okay.
Even things like composting, like all sorts of things. Digital literacy, like I said, that is a priority to me. It's one of my personal interests and passions for sure, is getting people comfortable in the online world so that, so that things are more accessible for people. Our main classes here are computer skills, which is sort of online basics. Tech time, which I mentioned, bring your question, bring your device, and things like coding skills for kids.
Okay.
And we incorporate a lot of that into our kids' classes. We've got various different like robots and laptops and ways that we can make those type of skills, again, more accessible, more available for all kids, because not all schools have that type of access and not all homes have those types of toys and technologies, right? So we try to bring those to those communities and to those kids.
Yeah, it's a privilege for many, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, I would say kind of the traditional library stuff, the films, the speakers, the literary events, your book clubs, our forward-thinking speaker series, right? When the famous people come, when Margaret Atwood comes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, some of these cost money. So here's
okay. Okay.
So these are the exceptions, I'll tell you, when things cost money.
Okay.
Not the book clubs, but when the famous people come.
Yeah, maybe an author reading or maybe a writer in residence or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, not the writers in residence, but when some of these forward-thinking speakers, they cost money, but this is a fundraiser too.
Okay.
Or like you had to pay to see Margaret Atwood, but you don't always have to pay to see
someone else.
local poet or something.
Okay.
And then we have our own publishing and music company, Capital City Press, Capital City Records, and Capital City Arts. I would just pop in and say that the libraries have our community galleries. So if you know anyone who has art, we hang it up for free in our gallery space. Just
interesting.
hang it up in the library. Yeah. Woodcroft's got 2 huge walls.
Interesting.
So.
And does it have to be a specific type of art, or it could be any type? It doesn't matter if it's a painting or a sculpture or.
This has to hang on our hooks.
It has to be able to hang. Okay.
Yeah. At Woodcroft, at least. Some places might have a place for sculpture if they have, So under Capital City Arts on our website, you can see the different libraries and what kind of space they have. So just throwing that out there.
That's cool.
And we do have writer in residence every year.
Yeah.
And I believe we have like musician in residence now too. So we kind of are embracing different styles of collaboration and in
absolutely
those areas of the arts. Okay. Now.
Oh, go back so we can make sure we get that number. Oh, it's probably
yes, you want this number. You may want to know where all the branches are.
Okay.
We tell you to come in.
Okay.
I'll show you that. You can call us 780-496-7000. That's our main switchboard.
Okay.
You can text us and you will get a response. 587-496-0337.
A response by a real life person, not an AI. A real life person. Amazing. Yes. That's a beautiful thing.
Some people are embracing the AI, but
some people are. Many people are, yes.
People at the library are interested in it for sure, but we are currently answering the text line by a human.
Okay, good to know.
Okay. I am going to show you. You can see this website now, right?
I sure can. Yep.
Okay. Hours and locations.
Yep.
See all locations.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so there's all your locations and phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can click into them to see more info too.
Mm-hmm. And if there was a test at the end of this, there was 21 libraries. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're gonna get it next time.
Okay.
Here's the monthly calendar too. It's always up there. So there's
So
another way
because
to stay
spring
up on
break
that.
is coming up, is there still room for, I'm just looking, there's March.
Spring break are all drop-in.
Oh, they're all drop-ins. Okay. Okay.
So here's Woodcroft, because
Okay.
again, just Woodcroft cheerleader
Yeah.
here. So everyone will have different programs, or we choose out of a list.
Okay.
So for us, as you can see, it's in purple. So like we're
Yeah.
having a puppet show, March 23rd. Nothing too special about that date, Stacy.
Okay.
Okay, puppet show.
Okay.
We've got robots, Lost in Space, friendship bracelets.
Okay. Last night's.
Last nights, those are robots too. So we've got two different robot and light
Okay.
coding. So again, we're getting our technology fix in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Optical illusions
Very cool.
and Legolands. And okay, I saved the best for last. This is our first program happening. And see, we've got Saturdays too. So even if your kid's out of
Yeah.
school, we've got Saturdays and
Yeah.
Sundays. This is Music with Becky.
Okay.
And on the back, there's description. Oh, they
Oh,
don't
I
tell them
see.
much about Beppy, but she's a Juno nominated musical artist.
Wow.
So we have external programmers. So a lot of the classes they're done for spring break and summer, you know, a lot of them are done by our very talented library staff,
Yeah.
but we shell out for a couple of professionals too.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking at this.
So again, you can go to
45-minute.
any,
Cool.
okay? So let's go to what's on. I don't know why they don't have spring break here in special events, but go to in person. And I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna go to program and try to find spring break.
Okay.
Click.
Spring break starts here. There we go.
So, hey, there's Beppy. There's
Okay.
Woodcroft. It's one of the very first of everything. So you could then like check off your location but you know, you could travel anywhere
Yeah.
really. So yeah, so spring break. So
You
that's
try out different locations.
our website looks like as far as what's on.
Okay.
Um, so the other way you can get help here, look, chat. It's under help,
Mm-hmm.
chat.
Mm-hmm.
Type your message in here.
Okay.
Again, this is a real person. It's the same person answering the
The text on your phone.
yeah,
Okay.
answers this. Okay. So many ways: in person, phone call, text or chat.
Perfect.
Okay. Now let's say you want to experience the library before you come. You want to know what's it going to be like when I go there.
Yeah.
I want to know what's it going to be like. I've only seen Lindsay in a little box of books
Yeah.
right in the shelf. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Emily, she was a community librarian. Now she's a manager. She's climbed the ladder. But she did such a great job doing a little virtual tour. So we're going to meet her on a virtual tour.
Fantastic.
Okay. And this is on our YouTube channel. We
Okay.
actually have quite a lot on our YouTube channel too. So for families at home, if you want to experience a sing sign, laugh and learn,
Yeah.
we have quite a few uploaded here. So you could check it
Okay.
out before you go. Like even on the side here, look, I see baby lap time with Angela.
Okay.
Look, there's a Thunderbird House tour. So here's a ceremony space I was talking about.
Okay, very cool. Lots
Now
to
these are
check out.
not all EPL though on this side, I would say.
Okay.
But, and I'm not a super YouTuber, but maybe from Edmonton Public Library. Look now, these are all from Edmonton Public Library. Puppet show. Here's a sing-sang class. We've got crafts and stuff. So there is quite a lot of content here too. So you can always check that out too. All right, are we ready?
We're ready to meet Emily.
Emily and her bunny. Oh, I don't know if I chose sound. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm just gonna double check.
So far it's been perfect.
I'm just doing it again just in case.
Okay. Yes, there's sound.
Hi, my name is Emily and I'm a librarian with the Edmonton Public Library. I'm here today to show you around the library and to tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a librarian. My job is a community librarian. That means I get to go out of the library into the community.
Okay, class, who would like to do problem 3 on the board? Please.
Visit with people, bring them lots of fun things from the library, and ask them what they'd like to see the library do. It's a lot of fun. But we also have librarians who focus on different things. For example, there are collections librarians, and they look after the collection. They focus on picking the best books, music, movies, and more for you to borrow. And did you know we have robots at the library? We sure do, and we have librarians and other staff who look after them. Working in a library, we get to wear lots of different things. But a couple really important things we always wear is our lanyard. That's what this is called. It carries some keys that we need to use different parts of the building, and a name tag. So this one says, borrowing, we call it sharing. And then it says my name, Emily. We always make sure to wear clothes and shoes that we are comfortable to move around in. Because in the morning, maybe we're doing a baby program where we're up and about and dancing around with all the families. And in the afternoon, maybe we're doing a makerspace program where we're running around with robots and having a lot of fun. So we have to make sure that our clothing is flexible. All right, enough about what it's like to be a librarian. Now we're going to show you the journey of a book in the library. After our collection librarians pick out a book and buy it, they deliver it to the branch. Then we scan it in the computer. This lets everyone know it's ready to be borrowed. And then we put it on the shelf. Then a customer, maybe you, comes by the library and picks the book out. Now you'll have to check it out. First, you'll need your library card. On the self-checkout machine, scan your library card and put your book over the sensor. And that's it. You can get a receipt so you know when you need to return it. Now you get to take the book home and enjoy. When you're all done and it's time to return the book, bring it to any library and drop it off in our return chute. Our library staff will pick up all the books from the return area, bring them to the staff room, scan them back into the computer, and put them all back on the shelf. And now the book is ready to be found by the next person. That's a lot of work for one book, isn't it? But we're happy to do it so that we can share with everyone. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Have a great rest of your day. Happy reading, and can't wait to see you all at the library again.
That was a really great way to walk you through. So when you're not actually there, so we're able to see what that looks like and what the process is, how it is. Yeah, that's great. I love the little puppets as well. Lindsay, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You have given us so much information, and especially this is perfect timing with spring break coming up and then summer coming up. So loads of information. If you were to give one last message, what is the bottom line other than the library card is free?
Just come in and see us.
Yeah.
Reach out. Give us a call, come on in, give us a chat. We're happy to help. We're happy to answer a question or help.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Lindsay.
Thanks, Stacy.